Amen.
Take it back.
So greetings, good evening, Mr. Sowore. This is a 234 number, Nigeria. I think somebody's trying to. When you send the message, please try and send your name too.
What are you going to do about jungle justice?
Jungle justice, oh man. I think you guys saw me with area boys yesterday. It's going to be completely outlawed. What we are finding out in our society is that the society has moved from both, repression and oppression has taken two dimensions. There's formal repression and now there's informal repression. Informal repression is repression carried out by security agencies that are wearing uniform, government officials. But the idea of somebody holding someone to ransom on the streets, because that's what happened to us yesterday. We drove to see a traditional ruler, finished talking with him, and guys just came out from nowhere and they barricaded the road that we have no right to move except we pay 500. They asked us for 500,000 naira. That was what they requested from us. Yes, and I had for a while people were talking to them, and at the point I have to just let them know, that this is unacceptable. So I got out of the car and I asked them, what exactly is our crime? Is it a crime to want to save your country? And they said no, but you have to drop something. I said, for what reason? So if it's a crime, I said, let's go to your house, lock me up in your house, and we can be operating from there. Tell people that you found a guy that is running for office and you don't like it. You don't want Nigeria to be liberated, but you know the thieves. But you guys saw the tape, and that's the formal repression. These are the kind of people that also carry out jungle justice. But it's as a result of the fact that nothing is working in our country. Our leaders have abandoned our country, and the country is also being informally governed by all kinds of warlords and territorial chieftains, and they have their own talk. And government, under a serious government, we must retrieve and recover that. Everybody must have the right to freely move around. Some of these informal warlords have, they are controlling the rights of people to freely move, assemble, and exercise even their free will, because they can guarantee that they are also capable of telling you who to vote for, since there's nobody that will come to your aid when they pounce on you. So I am absolutely opposed to jungle justice, and we'll fight against it. Any other questions? No questions? How many people watching?
627.
Huh?
627.
Okay, that's a good improvement. Should we push towards the 1,000 tonight so that we can use that to test our territory to see our people still working? Are they still excited? So share and see if we can reach 1,000. Right? Let's just do that competition tonight. So while you're sharing, let me see if we have any new donors or donations. I know when we do these things frequently, sometimes we get what we call donor fatigue. So somebody's complaining that a lot of people are still not getting their PVC. But you have to give it to us that we advocated for an increase in extension of PVC. It's our position that they must continue to give PVC to everybody until everybody gets their PVC. All right?
Can you share your encounter with Fela with us?
Sure.
Oh, yes.
I want to ask you about the financing out to one second.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I was telling them that with Fela, they want me to share my encounter with Fela with them.
You need that. That's your favorite story.
Yes.
I remember you were president too.
I was president of the Student Union at the University of Lagos.
Yeah, I was prepping you.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're having a Student Union week.
Correct.
And of course, my position is that our musician has to be Fela. Everybody brings him Shino Peters. I said, lie. We are not coming Shino Peters. We are not doing, we are not this Sunny Ade. Nobody else but Fela.
Oh my God.
So we sent a delegation to Beko Ransom Kuti.
Okay, manager.
Beko Ransom Kuti is Fela's manager.
Yes.
Record. So Beko is my friend. Beko says, well, I can help you get him. Work out. We get Fela. So on the day of the signing of the contract,
right,
Baba said he's going to collect 40,000 naira.
Wow,
not a lot of money, It was for him, he could pick more. He was interested in coming to play for us.
Yes.
He said, he hasn't seen any student leader he could play on his campus in a long time. He likes me.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but then we had to also provide 10 buses.
Okay.
The buses are supposed to take is 27 women and band members. So by 7 a.m., the buses must be in front of this building.
Right.
So we brought the buses. I drove the student union car, station wagon, Peugeot, to him. I got into his living room downstairs, sat down, then he strolls into the room, and he didn't miss me. He's like, "You are the student leader." Student leader. This small boy, they do student leader. He said, "But I like you. I see the way you did talk for paper." But say this country, man, this country is fucked up. And then all the ladies started coming. His ladies started coming out of the room. About 7 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, everybody got a, split,
Of course, yeah.
joint, and everybody was like doing it, and we were getting high, but we weren't smoking, but,
Of course.
So at the point, they started talking about the country and, asking us and telling us the story.
Correct.
So he told us the story of how he went to France one time, and he was supposed to perform at the Independence Day. So they put him in a fancy hotel, and then they went to him. He told them, he said, "Am I performing today?" They said, "Yes." He said, "If I'm performing today, I need to do sound check."
Correct.
He said, no. They came and said, "Fela, what's wrong with you? You're in France. You're not in Nigeria. Everything is. How are you going to check our sound? Our sound is
The best.
the best." He said when it was about 2 p.m., he called the organizers. He said, "Look, I'm going to have to do sound check, otherwise Fela is not going to perform." They said no, that's an insult on France. That this is French's Independence Day or something like that, something huge. He said 7 p.m. He called them again about the time. He said, "I have to do sound check." He said, "Come on, Fela, sit down there." He said when it was time for him to perform, they were calling his name. Fela Anikulapo Kuti, here he comes. He said just there for one. Fela Anikulapo Kuti. He said no performance. He said everybody was asking, they ran to him and please help us. He said, "No, I'm not performing." He said, "Why did you not perform?" He said, "I told them I want to do sound check. He didn't let me do sound check." So that was why they did perform. They fired everybody who was supposed to allow him to do his thing. Is another thing that he was able to get, was that anytime he was traveling to any of these countries, he was able to take his joint with him. To tell them, "Look, no matter what your drug laws are, I'm coming with my stuff." Energy, that's Nigerian natural grass, which is known as cannabis.
Correct.
So when we are hearing us talking about cannabis, it came from his clairvoyance. When I met him that day, he said, "You have no idea the medicinal value of this thing where you see me with." Because, there's one way they smoke, they call it monkey head. Yes. Big joint like this with a rat, like carry out, just a whack and they go. So he talked about a lot of things. But so what then happened? So he said to me, President, Mr. President, they call me Mr. President that day. Small boy president, they will call me small boy president. They couldn't another story. He said, that sound not ready and stage. He said the stage, I must check out because I have 27 girls. They won't dance. So tonight I will give them a
show.
Yeah. I said not ready. We give our social secretary to arrange stage. He told us there was no telephone. We had to be driving to campus and back.
Oh my God.
So we got to the place so that it was delayed. We ran back to tell him that he should delay the sound check. Fela had already left to go to Unilag. By the time we arrived in Lag, the construction of the stage was still going on about 6 p.m. He looked around, he checked, he said, "Mr. Commissioner, I told you I have to do sound check." Called the social secretary, I said, "We told you to make sure that apparently something's weren't acting right." Fela left.
That's it.
So he said, "I told you I'm not going to do sound check." So we follow and reach gate. The students lock the gate, say, "Baba, you can't leave us. You have to perform for us." They had already bought tickets. Fela say, "I know they perform." He said, we lock gates. They come with there at the back of the bus. coastal bus. They just carry him pillow. They say one attire. Now you open again. So the students were agitated, and I said to them, I said, look, I'm not, because he had an event at Ife where there was almost a showdown between them. I said, it's not happening on campus. You guys better kill me than do anything to Fela, because they wanted to like block him until he performed. So I got him out and then followed him to the house. You know, by the time we got here, this place was like a madhouse. Students had come, like they wanted to come and protest, but they already bought tickets. So I calmed them down, tried to get into the house. Of course, the bodyguards had already barricaded everywhere. So, but one person, we went to Beko and said, look, can you help us talk to Beko? Come show us the contract that we signed. At the bottom of the contract, it said, even when you have fulfilled all the conditions, Fela is not under any obligation to play.
Yes.
That was his contract.
Yes. Wow.
So we now brought somebody, which is the most interesting, we brought somebody who we thought knew him. So we went and called Fela. You know, they call him Fela, nobody, they don't call him anything. Everybody just say, Fela, they, look, I talk to you. He came out of his room. He said, who's that? He discovers that one of his guys. I did next to the guy. He said, who you be? He said, Fela, maybe we go back now, maybe we go to the campus. He said, but I tell you, say, they don't do stage. People who want to change society, you know, I tell them to be ready, they're not ready.
They're not ready.
He said, so now you carry them, come. You bring the guy head near. Give her one go side, the guy take off. That was the end of our encounter that night. He didn't go back.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't go back. We just went to campus. We appealed to the students. Interestingly, a lot of the students understood what happened and didn't ask for a refund of the ticket.
That's interesting. I think tonight is a good opportunity
to reunite with him.
Yeah.
But he was supportive, and I attended a number of his shows after that. You know, I was close to Beko. You know, until one day Beko, I went to Beko's. No, I didn't. Beko was not even in town. I don't know what happened. I think Beko was in town when we got some information, that he was sick, you know, and that he was not interested in going to hospital.
Yes.
So they had to come to this place and switch off the lights so that they can move him out the hospital. He went to hospital. I think he came back about 2 weeks later, and then they took him back and he disappeared for a while. One evening like that, I was on campus, and that time Ray Power Radio had just come on stream, an independent radio.
Yeah.
About 7 p.m. Just started announcing breaking news that, you know, Fela Anikulapo Kuti had passed on. And it was the first time that his music was played on public radio in a long time. Yeah. So another interesting thing that I found out when I went to do my NYC, I did my NYC in Yola.
Yola, correct.
So I was working at a TV station. One day I went to Radio Nigeria, Yola. And the only signboard they have inside the studio is that, you know, under any circumstances you play the music of Fela Anikulapo Kuti on air. It's there, the signboard from the Ministry of Information. Correct. You know. So that's my encounter, you know, and I'm here with Ogugwa, who's been Fela's protege for a long time. There was actually a documentary you appeared in.
Oh yeah,
in New York when he came, one of his last shows in New York.
At the Garden. Yes. Well, you know, I welcome you to Kalakuta.
Thank you.
And everybody welcome you wholeheartedly. Femi is aware of presence here. Kule, of course, is your host.
Yes.
You know, Yen is aware. Chinwu is aware. You are fully welcome here. This is your home. And I want to also get this opportunity to say to a lot of young artists, we all know how Fela has inspired you, at least to the extent where you can name your music after his music.
Yeah, Afrobeat.
So if you have a man who wants to take the helm of your country and he can recognize this kind of information, you have to reconsider your behaviors. You know? Otherwise, Fela will catch you now. But welcome, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And also, most people didn't know this, and I want to reveal it today.
Okay.
That something happened in New York.
Oh, yeah.
You should tell them the story.
Okay, so Fela on Broadway was going on.
Fela on Broadway is a show.
Yeah, it's a musical
about
Fela's life. And I was the chief consultant for the show.
Yes.
And you know, at that time, Sa, who actually got here too, Gauja, was playing Fela. And a lot of Nigerians were complaining. A lot of people were saying, there's something. missing.
Yeah.
I'm like, who can be the right person for this thing? At that time, there had been some mention. In fact, you and the band, you were at the same audition.
I auditioned before the band.
Okay, you auditioned for the band. So
I was the first to audition for Fela before the band.
How did you wind up in the same picture? I'm curious.
Yeah,
What
because the day
happened
he came to, when the band came to audition, I had also become a consultant to the show.
Correct.
On the media side.
Yes.
We used to go there every time to give them information, and we also help them get Nigerians to attend.
Yeah, so they said, well, so Boutique called me and said, listen, so find me a Nigerian, find me a Nigerian. I said, well, the only person I know that reminds me of Fela, has the attitude and is very sincere about it was yourself. So I said, go bring him. So that's how they called you up and booked you for an audition. Yeah. So how you guys did, I was not, but you
what happened was that interestingly, we had a case against Chevron. Some larger community had a case against Chevron in San Francisco, and I was also their consultant on the case. Okay. So I didn't have time to train. I did a voice training to be on the show, and I didn't have time. I eventually did some voice training. Okay, but then I think what's the track that's Rare Room? That was the track. Everything scatter. That was the. They gave me the track. To sing. So I went to do a voice training twice somewhere in San Francisco. They liked it, but the woman who was training me said you need a little bit more, But when we got on stage, Till Jones was like, man, you got the mannerism, but you can't sing. So that was how I lost it.
That was huge.
It would have been huge. But I didn't miss it in a way because I was also at that time building Sahara Reporters, and it would have taken away that opportunity to build a world-class media platform. But I wanted to do it just to show that I really believe in what Fela was doing, and
everything has its cause.
So when we then came back to do an event, Yearning came to the US, and I was following Yearning around at the big event for Fela Broadway. And everybody one lady kept saying, whenever she sees me, she said, that's Fela's son. That's Fela's son. Yeah, Maya. And I kept telling her, Maya, I'm not Fela's son. She said, no, why you lying? You're Fela's son. You got his head, In those days, my head wasn't as big as this, so I used to have like a goal, as a and the more became a fight because apparently I'd met Kule before. And he taught me and Kule look alike, and she couldn't accept that I said I wasn't Fela's son.
No, you do have the stature, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, and they said, Fela has this lion build where his torso is longer, is almost equal to his legs. Typically, legs are supposed to be longer than it's people who have like lions. So, I don't know if Kule is here. Maybe we can just see that to him.
Yeah, he will.
Can we get him?
Baba. Kule.
We just wanted to say hi, so that as our ship goes. Anyway, that's my experience with
Wow, welcome to
it's all around, And I was also at his burial. Massive. In fact, to get to just walk by his coffin that day it took about 4 hours for us to get to the line. And then we came from what's that place in Lagos? TBS in Lagos. And by the time we got here, we couldn't make it to the burial ground. We were just somewhere. It's just impossible. But I think by the time I made it to the place, the burial had already been completed. It was amazing. This guy is probably one of the biggest things to happen to Nigeria.
I'm sure in his grave, he will be grateful to you.
But we are grateful to him. He lived for us. And when I become president, one of the things we will do is to make a national monument for him. It's not the state. This will be preserved, but there has to be an Afrobeat museum or a Fela museum that is dedicated to music. And that's good. Thank you. Because a lot of people want to see Fela, and they haven't seen much about it. You remember also there was a museum show in the new museum in New York.
Yeah. Black president.
Yeah.
That's when I had that New York Times
The interview.
Yes.
So we've been around him, you know. We've been keeping the legacy and the touch.
No, definitely. Look, I'm telling you,
And we're not doing him a favor. We're doing ourselves a favor.
post his demise, you were the paramount guy that kept his legacy going by exposing, which is what he did.
Yeah, it's exposing corruption. Yeah.
He did not compromise. You never did.
And he stood up to power anytime. You know, he wasn't afraid. You know, they beat him up. He was arrested several times. He said he had 37 bullets on his head. You know, I have a few too, but not that many.
No, but
you know, and they once came and bombed this Kalakuta. This is his house. You know, and this Kalakuta Republic is somewhere there. We used to go there. They've converted it to a computer village, and I'm sure the Benito family probably didn't think it through very well otherwise.
Thank you very much and welcome to Kalakuta.
Thank you so much.
It's your home here.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Nigeria, we go.
Yes.
Sharp.
There you go. Thank you.
Everybody, take it back.
Take it back.
Action. No going back.
Guys, I had completely got lost in describing what happened between me and Fela. Amazing guy. We have some donations that are just coming, so we should, while we're waiting for our host, read out some of our donors. Nice people who are out there supporting us. Thank you so much. This support has been consistent. We have James Felix Efe. He donated 1,000 naira. That's the only person we have now. We will check on we're going to check on GoFundMe to see if we have any donations from GoFundMe, and we'll let you know. It's 10:38, so alright, we don't have any donations, at least that I know of. Let me check the GoFundMe app proper. Sometimes there's delay between when donations are made and when it pops up. But we have an app here, a GoFundMe app that we can check to see how things are going on our end. Yes. So there was a donation yesterday that came in as soon as we're wrapping up. We got a donation yesterday. So right now we are at about $148,799 on GoFundMe. That's amazing. Network is acting up around here. I don't know. You know, this is our country, man. This country now, wow, man. Let's see if we can get some internet onto this phone that has the app. Is anybody reading to us? If there are questions? Questions? No questions? Yeah. It means that our people are satisfied with the way things are going. They don't ask too many questions these days. Everybody's just waiting for the election. And this election is going to be great, like Anderson, right? Yes. You know, we can't appreciate you enough. You know, one day. Yes. We can't appreciate you enough. So there's an hourly summary from here. We have a $30 donation from Oluyemi C. JME. Yeah. $150 donation from Kayode K. Ojetunde OJ. Thank you, OJ. Two people that just came in just now. Yes. Thank you. Those are the two people that just came in just now. Subsidy? Yeah. Regime? Yeah. Oh, you know, we will take out the fraud out of it, and by the time you take out the fraud out of it, you discover that there's no subsidy. You know, it's a fraudulent, scheme. When you take the fraud out of it, you realize that there's no subsidy at all. Otherwise, you'll be subsidizing thieves, and we've been doing that for so many years. We have to start subsidizing real people. Wow, I made a mistake. I said we are 148. We actually have now reached $150,000 on GoFundMe. $150, $709. $150,709 on GoFundMe. Thank you guys. There's one donation I'm looking for $1,000 yesterday as we're wrapping up. We got $1,000 donation and I'm going to look for it. That's Sunday at Kinyemi. He donated $1,000 yesterday. Thank you. So I believe that Destiny directed Mr. Sowore date of birth to be the same as the date of the election, February 16th. Sowore is the chosen one. AAC is the party. Vote for AAC. Thank you.
People want to understand how you pay the minimum wage.
How to pay the minimum wage?
How you pay it.
How we pay it? Oh yeah, we've described several ways that we pay it. One, that the entire amount of money needed to pay the minimum wage we are proposing per year is about $1.5 billion added to the national budget. We lose $5 billion every year to corruption. So if we plug all the loopholes, in the area of corruption, we just now talked about subsidy, which is a big scam. That takes about $6 billion every year. We will have $5 billion. If you deduct that from, if you deduct the $1.5 billion, you still have even $3.5 billion to play around with, to do things in education because of the number of kids who don't take off the street. But another realistic one, in case people are saying, oh, maybe how do you block the loopholes because of thieves become experts, is to increase our tax collection rate. Not increase the tax, but the collection rate. Big companies that are paying below par, individuals that are not paying their taxes, employers that are collecting payees that are not remitting to government, make sure they collect from them. We've talked to a lot of tax experts and told us that our tax rate right now, the collection rate is too low. It's about 7.6%. That of Ghana is 15%. Our entire budget is almost funded by taxes. And when we say taxes, talk about petroleum taxes, education tax, you have company tax, you have withholding tax, you have income tax. All those taxes are what make up our budget. So our budget is about 35 billion. That means we're collecting about 35 billion in taxes. If you add other non-tax revenue, that could be more. But if you increase your tax collection rate, you get almost immediately 70 billion. And our budget is 35 billion. That means you have way more than that to play around with. And that you can do it, and so that they don't use Lagos to judge how, because if you talk about Lagos, they say, oh, you are endorsing APC policies. No, Lagos is not a good standard for judging how to collect taxes. They are doing collection of taxes, but the taxes are not being applied to development in Lagos because they are stolen. So we have talked about ensuring that nobody's stealing whatever we are collecting. We'll be transparent. We have shown it in this election cycle that we can be transparent. We're collecting donations. Even somebody gave us $100 today. He saw me at the restaurant and gave me $100. I called one of our guys. I said, go and note it down. And that's good to also announce. His name is Dr. Akinwowo. He came from Chicago. He saw me at the restaurant and gave me $100. And that $100 is applied immediately. Transparency is so easy to do. What is killing Nigeria is the opaque way we do business. We want to hide everything, and when you keep hiding, you give opportunity for people to steal. So we'll be able to pay this tax, pay this minimum wage immediately as soon as we increase our tax rate. Of course, we must let you know that the minimum wage applies immediately to people who are below 100,000. So it's about 70% of the workforce of 900,000. But another area where we are going to save is, the federal government has 900,000 workers, but they are paying salaries to 1.5. So there are about 600,000 workers, ghost workers that are being paid. We said we'll leverage technology to get rid of them. 80,000 of them are in the police alone. We don't even know how many of them are in the army. People have died and people are still collecting salaries on this. All these things, the moment you cut them off, there'll be plenty of money to play around with. Plenty of money to play around with, to invest in social services and pay workers minimum wage. We're already at 30,000 naira and it hasn't caused inflation. And 30,000 naira increase is almost 100% increase in wages and salaries. It hasn't affected inflation in any way. So those who are shouting inflation, you understand that this doesn't happen. And the moment you start paying it, the local economy will be growing. Because people who take minimum wage or living wage invest at home. People who take maximum wage invest abroad. That's what our senators do. And I have said that any illegal allowances that is being collected by Nigerian officials, I will go after it. Including for the executive branch or the legislative branch, or even, within the judiciary. If anybody is collecting illegal fees, one of the things we'll do is to ensure that there's no federal government official or any company affiliated with Nigeria that will force job seekers to pay to get jobs, to pay for even the employment, because that's another scam. You have to pay somebody to qualify for interview. Well, you're already jobless, you have no money, and then they still collect money. But we saw what they did with the immigration one, which was a big scam, and people were punished for it. If I encourage others, it will not happen under my watch. A lot of the things that are going wrong in Nigeria today will not happen under my watch. I can promise you that. So when you save, you plug the loopholes, you save, and you innovatively increase revenue, you will be able to pay whatever you want to pay. We are not only going after minimum wage, we want to build 17 million homes so that we'll solve this housing crisis in the country. We want to increase electricity from 3,000 megawatts to 28,000 megawatts. It's going to cost $7.something billion, or even 16 or $20 billion. We can raise the money because it's the kind of investment that will bring in revenue, that will bring about jobs, and that will better the lifestyle of our people. We want the people of Nigeria to be happy. We want Nigerians to be happy people. We don't just want to be genetically happy. We want to be physically and substantially happy people. They've been doing this test where every year they find out Nigerians are the happiest people in the world. You guys don't ask why. The reason is that we have a gene in our body. Interestingly, it's known as the cannabis gene. It makes you happy.
Alright, so someone wants to find out if there are promises made to those parties that are aligning with you.
No, except the only one that asked for some concession was out of the AD, that's the Alliance for Democracy. They said they would like to participate in the cabinet, which is, there's nothing wrong with it. They are young people like us. We'll look into that, make sure that we talk about, of course we want to have an all-inclusive cabinet. So they did ask that when we win, they want to participate in the cabinet. There are over 10,000 political appointments available. Even Buhari could not fill it because the man didn't know what he was doing. For 6 months, he couldn't appoint ministers. He couldn't appoint board members for almost 2 years. When he did appoint board members, maybe a lot of them were dead already. So there are 10,000 positions to be filled. So many of them were not even filled by this government because the government doesn't know what it's doing. So there's plenty of opportunities for those of you who are out there thinking about merging with us. But we are not making promises. We are not bribing you with positions that are not there. You have to support us first based on conviction, that to believe in what we're doing and work together to make this country a fantastic country. That's the best way to do it, the best way to go about it. Any more questions?
What are your plans for security? How will you tackle Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen?
We said we have to take drastic steps in ensuring that people who are not fit to be generals in the army or who are engaging in corruption are pushed out of the military. and that we invest in our military, in buying equipment, we train them, and that we have international collaboration with countries that have had experiences in fighting terrorism, regardless of where they are, and that we increase and improve our transparency and credibility so that we can acquire the necessary weaponry that are necessary to fight these terrorists. Don't forget that part of the reason why Nigeria is struggling to get even weapons is because of our appalling human rights records. It's affecting us because our soldiers are, arbitrarily abusing citizens. So we have terrible records that's made it impossible for countries that care about human rights not to sell weapons to us or equipment or even partner with us in the first place. So with our government, human rights will be a major priority. We improve our human rights, and that will give us the needed leverage in those markets to get weapons that we need to fight terrorists.
Harikes is asking, how do you intend to make our schools free from exam malpractice and bribing of lecturers so that we have a good schooling system? Technology will come in to help with exam malpractice. When I was in the US, I tried to do what they call SAT, which is the exam you do to get into law school in the US. And when I walked into the exam hall, everybody had a computer in front of me. The questions for every individual is different. So even if you are doing giraffe, you are wasting your time. And it times you, and when it's time, the computer tells you that the exam is over. And immediately a new group of persons come in. We are there already. We should leverage the technology. With regards to lecturers that are corrupt, of course, purge them out of the system. Not only are lecturers corrupt, there's the issue of sexual match or sexual harassment that we have to clamp down on, so that students, get everything they deserve on merit. So a lot of these professors were also hired through the back door. We look into and review them, make sure that they are doing what they are paid to do. Education is priority for us. I saw Pius this for me, Professor here, and he was saying that the person who will vote for is the person who is interested in education. And we are totally committed to education. Also, Sarah asked us on Twitter to make a public commitment to ensure that there's press freedom and respect for human rights. Of course, there is no question about that. We don't play. We don't play, man. We don't play when it comes to human rights. Okay. So what will you do about oil importation?
Oil what?
Importation.
Importation of refined products?
Importation of refined products.
Yes. We have to fix our refineries. The 4 refineries we have, we can fix it. It's possible. The reason we can't fix them is because the godfathers that sponsored the election of President Buhari, they are the ones that are preventing the refineries to be fixed. I know, for example, one of the refineries in Kaduna, the Japanese that built them, they have offered to come and fix them and even increase the capacity. But corruption will not allow that to happen. We will restructure the NNPC to be a transparent public company in Nigeria that works for Nigerian people. And all the refineries will put them back on track. And we can supply, at least we can locally supply our needs. And even supply some of these West African countries. It's not rocket science. Thank you guys. What else? I think we have like another 5 minutes. Let's look at what the banks are saying.
Let me join you for the last 5 minutes so that you can.
You have to pay to join. Town Cry.
Mr. President.
How are you? Good to see you. You're welcome. Let's also use this opportunity to greet a lot of our brothers who are in town for the election.
Yes.
Welcome. There's I think Olamide who contacted me that he just arrived.
Yes.
Olamide, wherever you might be, you're welcome. We just have some donations. There's a world remit for 25,091 naira 88 kobo. We don't know the person, please give us. There's a Gold Paradise ornament donated 1,000 naira.
Thank you.
Let's also use that opportunity to go look at what we have on GoFundMe. There's something new.
Just a quick one. There's an event going on right now in New York.
Okay.
It's called the Mixer.
Oh, there's a
It's
mixer.
been organized by the New York group.
Yeah.
And it's happening in Brooklyn. So if anyone needs to be part of it.
Pigeon Lewis just made a donation of $200. Yeah. And our brother Kelly from Germany donated he made 5,000 handbills and sent them by air overnight. Those are Kelly. Thank you so much, Kelly. Samuel Odiana just donated $50. Said I donate because I believe in Sowore. And Pigeon Louis said, take it back. Hashtag Nigeria must be great. Pigeon Louis is one of our greatest defenders on Facebook. And Rita Edoze.
Okay.
Yes. And there's another person who said, don't mention my name, who defends a lot.
And also Olu following.
Humble Prince.
Prince.
Only if Humble Prince can pay attention to us.
Yes.
Only. All those relationship advice, let him suspend it.
And the finest boy challenge.
You are going to be a really fine boy if you take over that.
Exactly.
If we win in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Because you can come and be flexing in Nigeria. No winter.
No winter.
It's always summer here, man.
It's always
yes.
like the bitter cold weather that they had over.
And let me use this opportunity to thank the leader of Celestial Church of Christ, Genesis Global, Prophet Oladele, for that very wonderful opportunity we had in this church. We're still hearing from them that people love it. A lot of people are reaching out, man. If you are reaching out and we can't reach you, please don't get upset. Do what you gotta do. Go vote. We just started.
Encourage others to also vote.
Yeah. Yes. Do we have any more questions? Any more questions? Huh?
They've gone up. So maybe if the people can ask the questions.
Did we number of people increase watching?
No, you reduced that 7.
We went to 700. So what was the maximum?
We're 8.
Wow. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to the last question that they brought up in terms of our refinery. In my own opinion, I would like to say that we would like to mandate our oil companies to actually refine some portion of their the crude oil in Nigeria, instead of taking everything abroad to refine and create jobs abroad.
Yeah.
We mandate them that
that's what they do. That's what they do in other countries. Yes. It doesn't even make sense. I've spoken about this before. One of the greatest way we get cheated, the biggest cheating in the oil industry is the transportation. No, it's the transportation of crude. So when you sell crude in Nigeria, and you are hearing this from me, if they sell crude for $50 per barrel, the oil companies will first of all deduct the cost of production, and then they will deduct transportation. At that end, after they are done, and this is arbitrary from what I heard or what I know, whatever is left is what we then share. So if we are selling at 56, they can deduct up to $30 cost of production and transportation. So there will now be $25 left. They will not share 60-40. Federal government takes 60, they take 40. Yes, that's why they're always making profit and we don't make profit. We can never make it under that kind of arrangement. But if we can refine, we can sell at home and even go and create, we can create lots and lots of gas stations in the West African region. There are gas stations, there are Russian gas stations in New York. What's that? I forget the one, but I know that Venezuela, Venezuela has got their own too. Yes. Where in New York you can buy their oil. It's even cheaper than that of Chevron and what do they do with our oil? They refine it and sell it. And BP, Shell, and the rest of them. What do they do with our oil? They refine it and sell it. So you carry your crude from here to go and refine in New Orleans.
You even pay for the transportation.
You now pay for transportation to go and then you then buy back. And when you refine, a lot of products come out of a refined oil. But in Nigeria, you go and refine.
All the byproducts.
You only bring back
the crude,
the oil and kerosene.
PMS.
It's a crime. I keep telling people this country is a crime scene. Crime scene. Our leaders are criminals. Our leaders are criminals. They are doing this. And let me make another revelation. For every crude that is sold in Nigeria, the president gets an amount, a certain percentage. The Senate president gets a certain percentage. The speaker gets a certain percentage. That has been going on forever. All the chief justice.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
So I would like to mention this. I was watching a video recently about the Saudi oil company. So what is happening is that every drop of crude oil that they produce in Saudi Arabia, it's being monitored.
And that's another problem here. There's no metering. They don't measure how many crude. They just bring ship, they just load it. And they will say, help me load my own.
Yes.
Anyways, I think at this point we have to stop because we are going to go to the next step. Yes. We have 1 minute.
But as a last question, it's interesting as we round up. Will you work with old people in your cabinet?
If I what?
Yeah, old people. Will you work with old people?
There are decent old people in Nigeria. We are not the government that is against old people.
Many old people that
we want people with great ideas.
With good ideas.
Not old people with terrible ideas. Those are the ones we are opposed to. Yes. All right, guys. Let me mention the last genre, and then we can go. This is from Margaret Okumabua. 1,000 naira. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
And on that note, we call it a night.
Yes.
I think there are other activities tonight while we're here. We'll keep you updated. Thank you.
Keep on watching. And make sure you...
Oh, no, before we go, Omoyele Kuti, please. He has our host. Have you stopped? Okay. Our host, Omoyele Kuti.
All right, thank you, Mr. President.
Man, donate. Sit down here.
I donated myself.
Yes, you came from New York.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
thank you.
Let's just bring Kunle. Afolabi, one of our donors from Philippines, is calling. We'll talk to you after. Kunle, how are you, sir?
Don't let me escort you anytime.
Yes.
TakeItBack.
Action. Omoyele Kuti is our host. You know, I was talking earlier that I was accused of looking like you. Yeah, they say we look alike. So, but most of you guys probably don't hear a lot about him. He's a very quiet person, but he makes things happen around here, right? You know.
Yes.
So thank you so much for hosting us. You know, we came to our father's house.
Yes. Home.
Thank you for taking up home for us. Because we go away, but you take care of business around here. People would like to just hear from you. You know how things are going. A few days to election. Today we went to collect our PVC together. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, great. At least we have our PVC to vote now.
Yes, and we are going to vote for the right person. So Kunle is our host tonight. We just want you to come say hello to our viewers from all over the world. Yes, thank you so much. He doesn't want to say too much, you know, because he's busy. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Good night, and we'll talk to you soon again as things are unfolding.
Wait till I don't
They don't bring you.
for bringing them, we got to do one place.
We'll see you other things.
Good.